Hello and welcome back. In today's video, we're going to look at adding multi-material to my Voron 2.4. And to do that, I'm going to use the BigTreeTech ViViD. So let's go ahead and get into this. Okay, to start this journey, we're going to unbox this. Okay, here is the first look at the ViViD out of the box. Below it, you get a whole bunch of PTFE or Bowden tube. I'll go ahead and pull off this plastic. Opening it up, looks like all of the accessories are here in this foam, which actually got stuck in the lid for me. Tons of cabling, power cable, looks like some EMI filters for cables. I believe this is the buffer. I'll go ahead and bring the camera closer so we can get a closer look. Okay, here is a look of the inside. So as you can see, it is 4 bays, which allows for 4 rolls of filament. Grabbed a roll of filament just to see. This is some Polymaker. Sits right in there. And it does seem to fit pretty well. Looks like we have 2 spots for silica gel, since this is kind of a dry box. Looks like a big blower fan back here. Overall, very nice looking. Quality feels pretty good. I also noticed that there is 0 documentation that comes in it, so I'm assuming you need to look all of that up. I'll go ahead and shut the lid, and we'll turn onto the back to see all the I/O. Okay, so here's the back panel. Looks like you just get a power module here, or the power inlet with a power switch. 3 collets to add the Bowden tube. And then we get an input and an output. So seeing the input and output connection here, seems like this would then be a daisy chain cable. So I flipped it back around, so let me go grab some tools and see how easily we can get into the internals to see what's going on inside. Grab my handy dandy Allen keys, so I'm going to go ahead and take off these 2 screws so we can see if we can get inside. Okay, so removing this front bar, looks like filament comes in here. This looks like to be a drive motor here. Looks like there's 2 long shafts to go the entire length that are belt driven. Some sort of sensor board here. It's mirrored pretty much after this belt on the other side. Okay, so after I removed that, I removed all the screws. Looks like this plate, or this entire underbody, does get removed. Okay, so this looks like to be the control board for the ViViD. I do have a few concerns looking at it. Mostly just looking at those cables and how they're not fully seated, but they are glued. It does seem like the repairability is kind of low on this product. Okay, as I said, I haven't really done much research on this product, and there's no documentation in the box. Did just realize that this filament buffer, or this is looks like a 4-to-1, not really sure what this is, does seem to have the same connection here. So I'm assuming the input of this goes to the output of the actual ViViD unit. I do see there are 4 screws here, so let's go ahead and tear this down and see what's inside. 4 screws removed. There's nothing on the top plate here. Flip that over. So that's good to know. So there's 2 holes right here. Looks like they go into 2 buttons. There's a boot and a reset button, so that means there's some sort of MCU underneath here. So I'm going to go ahead and pull off these 4 screws. These do look like to be some plastite screws, which looks like they just thread right into the plastic. This one here looks to be an actual machine screw. Okay, here is that board. It's a filament detection board, it looks like. Just going off of the silk screen here. So, looks like there's a sensor here and here, which then uses that to detect whether or not there is filament in here, I'm assuming. Looks like there's also those same switches here. And when filament comes through here, that piece must rise up and hit the thing. So let me grab a piece of filament. Okay, so here's a scrap piece of filament. Sticking it through here, yep, just as I suspected. That piece rises up, and then we can see here it falls back down. Once again, the entire assembly rises up. So that must be what will break that opto. Like I said, I know nothing about this. I am just inferring from what I'm seeing. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and reassemble this. Okay, now that the ViViD is reassembled, we can install this on my Voron 2.4. But before we can do that, we will need to complete some hardware upgrades and install some software. So until then, thanks for watching, and stay tuned for the future upgrade videos. Bye!